what do you do?
I'm
What
retired, but just trying to upgrade my learning with water and related sewage, water,
Okay,
sewage, and soil related
sorry.
area.
Ah,
I was a student of limnology, basically.
you were a student of?
Limnology, that is freshwater biology.
Okay, fresh water. You're an expert in the subject.
Yeah.
I will be careful and please forgive if I make blunders.
There is nothing like blunder. It's all learning. We are all learning here.
Great. Yes, sir. Thank you.
I was deeply touched with your title,
Ah,
300 ml per tree per month.
so
It
that is
was,
reality. You may be touched, but that is what I can actually have done and will do.
no, I believe, I wholeheartedly support you and I believe you because I'm under the impression that present irrigation is the darkest chapter of human civilization.
I don't care for what is happening with crops.
Yeah,
Okay. I am concerned with growing forests and horticulture trees.
yeah.
So on the subject of irrigation, I keep quiet. But how to water a tree and how much water it needs, I started with a fundamental question.
Yeah, I am a
The
member of.
weight of a biological organism is the amount of water it needs. So if you ask the question, how much does a 1-year-old tree need? You weigh it along with the roots, and the weight will never exceed 1 kilo. So the answer to that question, how much water it needs, is 1 liter of water. That liter of water should be converted into biological mass, and that's the
Yes,
amount of water it needs. Okay. There is a correction to that, that carbon dioxide the tree gets from the air. I don't provide carbon dioxide. And nitrogen and other minerals, I don't provide, that the tree picks up from the ground. So correctly, 700 milliliter is all the water a tree needs in 1 year. Okay. And I have tried to practically show this working. Okay. But my family said, you don't waste your time reaching perfection. Perhaps in another 2 years' time, you will be able to demonstrate a working model of a tree grown with only 700 milliliter or less of water. You concentrate on propagating trees with only 7 liters of water. That is practical thing which will do the world a good. Don't waste your time trying to work with 700 ml of water. It's entirely feasible. We will one day, give me time for 3-4 years to first propagate this method. And let somebody else will also figure out that, yes, how can we grow a tree with 700 ml of water?
yeah. I am a member of a group run by
Yes.
Dr. Peter Hoff,
Huh.
who has developed water box instrument, which says
Yes.
that the trees can be irrigated with atmospheric vapor. There
Yes,
is,
yes.
and in its lifetime, once you plant a tree in a particular manner, he recommends, there is no
Yes.
need to irrigate it ever throughout the life.
That is called dew condensation.
Exactly. Because
Exactly.
suppose somebody gives me billions of dollars
Yes.
for thousands of hectares of tree plantation.
Yes.
But once planted, who will irrigate them? And from where the water will come?
Exactly my point, the trees know how to grow. We are concerned only with starting them if they are to be forest trees. If I am greedy as a human being and I want fruits out of the tree, then it becomes my duty that if I want 1 kg of fruit, I should supply at least 1 liter of water because that's what the tree needs. And this is beyond its own way of growing. So I agree with you fully that a tree can survive with just the starting water and a forest tree survives. I will show you photographs of sesame trees, neem trees, currant trees, tamarind trees. Some of them have grown 15 feet, 13 feet like that. In 3 years, when we have stopped watering them at the end of first year, we have not given any drop of water after the first year. And those trees have grown to the height of 15 feet, 13 feet, depending on the growth rate of the tree, but in the worst possible soil. Deccan Plateau, red laterite soil, completely rocky, and nothing has grown since the formation of Deccan Plateau. No pulse, nothing.
Thank you for joining this webinar on root feast methodology. We have here today many people joining from different time zone, I think. So welcome and good evening, good afternoon, and good morning, all of you. I request 30 seconds of silence. Please close your eyes and connect with your breath and be here in the present moment. And invoke the blessings of your teachers, gurus, Buddhas, Bodhisattvas to guide us through today, through this webinar. And let us intend to co-create with synergy from this group strength. Okay, I will start with the short bio of Mr. Ashok Chand Mathur. First of all, thank you so much, Ashok ji, to be
My
here.
pleasure.
Yeah. He spent over 30 years in finance, technology, and textiles in various industries at various positions. And he's 76 years now, and he's interested in growing trees and with very little water. This includes forest trees, horticulture, vegetables, and flowers. His second interest is he has invested the root feast methodology that grows trees in just around 300 ml of water per month per tree. And help me to pronounce this correctly. Third interest is tensegrity structures, right, Shokji?
Yes.
Yeah, including domes and
Decorates.
nexorates. And fourth interest is myoelectrical prosthetic hands, preferably, and this is an open source he has. And fifth is solar cookers and cooking. His LinkedIn profile is there, which we can share once people request. And Ashok ji, World of Water Action Forum is a collective citizen forum for water conservation. WOW Action Forum has constituted dedicated action groups of the city's leaders who are connected about the water crisis. Each action group focuses on specific schools, apartments, etc., owns a sub-target and works towards the mission target of 1,000 crore liters a year. The cumulative impact of the work done by WOW members has so far exceeded 3,000 crore liters. Ecophoria.in is the execution arm of Alltech Foundation. And the team is doing many projects across in Kolkata, Hyderabad, Chennai, Bangalore. That is all, Ashokji, and here is your space. Go ahead. Thank you.
Okay. Let me give a very small biodata. I studied physics at University of Rajasthan, did physics honors, and then shifted to IIM Ahmedabad for a management education. There I studied 4 things. First is finance, second is MIS, which essentially meant computers and management information systems based on computers. I did operations research, including advanced operations research, and I did some amount of production management. Of my working life, I spent almost 30 years managing two things, finance and computers. Okay. My philosophy is that I have tried to work so that I can solve a problem 10 times faster. That's what I love to do. Look at the existing method that people use and turn it around so that the whole thing is done in 1/10 of the resources or 10 times faster. I rarely work at marginal issues. Okay. When you work at a problem where you are trying to make it a factor better, you have to throw away existing knowledge and experience. They count for nothing. So in 2005, I had a plant bypass surgery. And after that plant bypass surgery, my wife told me I cannot be an employee any further. And when I asked her, what should I do? She said, that is your problem, you solve it. So I solved it like this. I tried to solve neglected but very important social problems. I identified 4 of them. The reason why I chose important social problems but which are neglected is that I'm not asking for anybody to give me any resource. If I succeed in solving an important problem, socially important problem, well and good. If I fail, nothing is lost. So I'm not going to share those problems because right now I have taken a decision. I will concentrate only on root feast. But I identified a socially important problem as reforesting the whole world. Okay? Not trying to grow one tree here or, confine myself to India or a city or a tree species. But how can I reforest the whole world? Okay? I thought this was a problem worth among 3 other problems that I tried to solve. And I realized that if I'm trying to solve this problem, there are others who have tried to solve it. Some of them have succeeded partially, others have succeeded not at all, and there are failures. And there is great deal to be learned at looking at success and failures of others and working over them. One person was particularly successful. That man was called Peter Hoff. Unfortunately, he's dead, passed away a few years ago. But he was a nurseryman from Holland. And he had deep insight, not from his business, but by personal observations, how trees grow. And these insights he converted into an appliance, which he called water box. This is something made of high density polyethylene. It's a box with 2 cavities inside it. Inside it, you can plant 2 trees. There is a corrugated surface at the top where dew condensation takes place. So you initially put in 18 liters of water, and then the water box takes care of all evaporations and keeps pumping in the dew. He has been fortunately publishing the results of various experiments. And this water box has worked quite successfully in all sorts of very high environments. So in deserts of California, in deserts of Middle East, in mountains of Spain covered with snow, etc., etc. He gets about 90% survival. But the conditions are that you have to buy this water box from Holland. And he ships minimum 100 of them at a cost of rupees 2,000 each. This is about 6-8 years ago. So you need to spend 2 lakhs of rupees to get the water boxes. At Pune, in India, 2 people decided they are interested in this. One was the commander of a Navy camp at Mathur, near Bombay. He decided, whatever is the cost, I want to grow trees, so let me get this water box and plant 100 trees. The other is chairman of BIF, Bharatiya Agro Industry Foundation, which is a Gandhian organization working in very many areas. It is successfully the basis of milk revolution of India. Okay. BIF published the results of its experiments. They got 100 boxes, 50 they kept in Pune, and balance 50 they spread all over India wherever they had a center. And everywhere, including Barmer in Rajasthan, Jodhpur in Rajasthan, Gujarat, Pune, other cities, success rate was more than 80%. Okay. So this was clearly a candidate that I should look at. BIF also did one more thing. They called in best of chemical engineers and said, here is an apparatus costing 2,000 rupees. It is not covered by any patent. Can we reverse engineer it and make it in India instead of importing it from Holland? And that man looked at it and he said, the minimum cost to make this device is 1,200 rupees. That's just the HDPE cost in it. And once you finish making it, the surface requires the special super hydrophobic coating, which is found only in Singapore. So you make it in India and send the box top to Singapore for that coating and it comes back. And depending on number of items you push out from the mold cost varies. It might be 20 lakhs for the initial mold, but if you make 100, then that's a large amount per piece. If you're making 2 lakh, then it's very small. That's just 10 rupees for the mold cost. So I have said, in any case, minimum cost is 1,200 rupees. And this is just too high a price to pay for growing a tree. So one of the unusual things that I do when I start on a project is ask myself, what would a normal customer pay? What is the price range he would pay for the solution without blinking? So if I said that I will give you at 300 rupees compared to 2,000 rupees that works, or 1,200 rupees that work, many people may say yes, but they will all want government subsidies. So finally, I said my solution will cost between 60 rupees to 200 rupees. If I can bring down the price to 60 rupees, I have done a miracle. If it is as high as 200, number of potential people interested in this will not pick it up because it's too expensive. But I start with the price range because what this price range does is it eliminates sophisticated, expensive solutions. It forces me to think of very simple solutions. And I thought on this problem for about 10 years. And one day I went to BIF and said, I can make this device for 60 to 200 rupees. I don't know the price, but I have the device and it will give you the same results as what water box is giving. Okay. So I started with one model, understood its technology, understood the price point, and said I can make it. Now, obviously, this technological solution has to be robust. It must give 90% survival rates, at least 80%, if not 90%, if not 95%. But that's what I wanted to do. So I have said, implement it, plant 20 trees in our campus. Fine. But the field staff in Bayer, like any other field staff, said, who is this man coming and telling us that he can grow a tree in 60 to 200 rupees and it will require only 12 liters of water for a year? We have never seen anybody do anything like this. Even the water box started with 18 liters of water in the beginning, and dew condensation gave more waters. So we will postpone Mr. Mathur's trials. We won't work. Why should we be wasting our time doing this? This is understood. This will happen with every entrepreneur trying to say such things. But the monsoons passed, months after monsoons passed. On 9th November 2019, I said, enough. Tomorrow, I phoned BIAF and said, tomorrow I am coming and planting 20 trees. You do what you want. I am coming to plant 20 trees. And I went the next day. Monsoons are long over. There are almost no saplings available for planting. What is left is reject. We dug 20 holes. We planted 20 trees. And while we were doing this, the gardening staff was looking at me and saying on their face, why are you wanting to kill these 20 saplings? If you want to kill them straight away. No issue. We will kill 20 because you are coming from the top. We will kill all 20. But they understood my instruction that these trees are to be watered by my method, maximum 1 liter a month, no more. This was 2019, November. In March 2020, India declared COVID on 20th of March. And on that day, all institutions, including Bayer Farm, closed. So there was nobody on the campus to do anything. Even that 1 liter of bottle that I said should be given to these trees ceased. And till September, everything was closed in India. And in September, when BIAF Center opened, I was interested, others were interested, but despondent that this 20 trees will be dead. Nobody has watered them beyond first 4 months of 4 liters of water. To our surprise, all the 20 trees were thriving. They had grown to more than a height of 3 feet. They were thriving. They had good crowns, etc., etc. That's when BIAF suddenly said, we have something serious. And in August of 2021, we did a scientific trial, 75 trees in control and 75 trees by my root feast method. The controls were given 5 liters of water every month, and I allowed the roots to draw as much water as they wanted. If the water in my bottle was over, we would refill it. There was no compulsion. Let me explain why I call this method root feast. The term feast is alien to Indian society. You go to any restaurant, you are given a fixed portion of food. You go to any wedding, you go to any social, somebody comes and gives you limited quantity of food to eat. We don't understand the concept of feast is you eat as much quantity as you like, as long as you like. So what I do with my technology is that I give as much water to the roots as that they like. They can go on feasting on water. I don't give a drop of water to the sun, nor do I give a drop of water to the soil. All my water is reserved for the roots, and they can draw as much as they want. If they are happy and they are not drinking water, then the bottle will not supply further. If they are hungry and they want more water, the bottle will supply. This is through a capillary action. As soon as the water is less, the capillary action starts pumping in more water. So it's a self-regulated automatic mechanism. Okay. And we were measuring girths and heights of all the 150 trees. At the end of 1 year, what we found was this. The control trees used 60 liters of water. My trees use just 9 liters of water or 300 milliliters per month. Okay. Out of 9 liters, 5 liters were used at the initial planting stage because there is a shock when you are transforming it from the plastic bag onto the ground, and otherwise 4 liters of water throughout the year. So the amount they were consuming per month is 300 liters, 300 milliliters. Once 60 liters versus 9 liters. I'm working at 1/7, and the height and girth were identical, except that control was 2% better, though statistically not significant. But let me say that, okay, by giving 60 liters of water, you are getting 2% higher growth. But my method is giving you identical. Okay. So this was the first scientific trial. There are reports available with me. Anybody wants, I can send the whole report, all the readings, all the details, etc., etc. The survival rate in both cases, control versus root fish, was identical, more than 90%. I actually got 0.5% better survival, but it is not important. Let's say same survival rate over 90%, 9 liters of water versus 60 liters of water, same height, same girth, and same set of trees. 3 species have zero failure: neem, sesame, and currant. All the trees planted survived. In case of jamun, which is known to be a very water-hungry plant, there was more than 10% failure. And that's what reduced the survival rate. But that is not an excuse. That is what happened. Okay. I had invented this for use in forest. For use in forest, after the first year, we stopped giving any drop of water to all the trees. I wanted this mechanism to be worked everywhere in the world. There should be no specialized equipment. The whole thing should be robust, and somebody sees it for 5 minutes. At the end of 5 minutes, he knows what to do, how to make it. That's how you can reforest the whole world. No sophisticated part. Very clearly, I spent 10 years thinking about it and simplifying. So what you will see is a very simple mechanism. But it has become simple not because it started simple, but because I have given thought. This is just a self-promotion point I'm trying to make. Now you see on the picture on the left-hand side that there is an empty recycled water bottle. Coke, Pepsi, all soft drink or simple water bottle. On the right-hand side, you see the nada here. This is ordinary nada that we use in our pajamas, cotton pajama, nothing special. Part 2 and third part is this brown paper tape. Okay, these 3 things are available everywhere. And the tools to make are a scale, a marker, and an ice pick. The bottle, if it is a 1.75 liter bottle or 2 liter bottle, costs about 5 rupees. The nada is to be used for 48 inches. 48 inches of nada is 4 rupees, you can say, depending on how you buy it, where you buy it, but it's 4 rupees. And about this paper tape, brown paper tape, is about 35 rupees per roll. if you're buying retail. If you're buying wholesale, it is much cheaper. But another 3 rupees of this brown paper tape. Okay. This is the whole cost of the apparatus. This is the whole apparatus. A plastic bottle which is recycled. I have no mold. I don't make it. It's available everywhere in the world. There is cotton nada. I'm not specifying any thickness, etc. Any nada will do, which allows a capillary action to take place so that water is transported from the bottle into the underground root where I'm putting. And a small brown paper tape wound twice around the nada so that no water is allowed to touch the ground. We have made the bottle and filled it either with water or water with vermicompost and some amount of fly ash. Okay. So if you see the first thing, what I do is I don't plant the tree at the top of the ground. Normally, we just dig the surface and make a hole where the root can go in and plant. We are making a hole 15 inches deep and 4 inches wide. The 4-inch width comes so that I am able to put my hand in and hold the sapling and bring it down. Without this, the sapling won't go down, right? I very deliberately and carefully plant my sapling 15, 18 inches deep, so there is no loss of evaporation or sideways capillary action, right? This is very important. Second, can you change the slide? Okay. Now, in the picture on the left, you see a sapling where the plastic has been converted. There is vermicompost here. There is a bucket. Okay. And you see this bottle with a nada coming out of it. And what I am doing on the right-hand side is very different from conventional. I am disturbing the root ball. Traditionally, a root ball is never touched. But what happens when you take a plant from a nursery, that nursery has already killed 50% of its strengths. If you are doing any planting, please don't take a tree which is more than 6 months old from a nursery. The roots, the bigger of the tree comes from its taproot. And when they are grown in the brown bag, the root starts girdling. Because for 1 year, 1.5 years, the top is so tall, more than 15 inches, and the bag is just 6 inches. So 12 inches of roots have been forced to go round and round, and they have unlearned the art of penetrating the soil. They have been conditioned by the growing person to just stay at the surface. Okay. So it is essential to correct this. I disturb the root ball and cut away all roots which are girdling, which are circular. Okay. Next step. Now, what is done next is that we take about 3-4 inches of vermicompost, mix it with some biochar if you want to. If you don't have vermicompost, take some gobar, no issues. And put a bottom layer of 3-4 inches. At the top of that, take some exposed nada and place it, and then put the disturbed root ball on the top of it. And then put some soil, tamp it down to make sure that the tree has no air around it, and then water it somewhat. Then fill it till the top 1.5 inches of the hole and water it again. The soil at the top 1.5 inch doesn't need to be watered. So initially we are using something like 4 to 5 liters. We can work with almost only 2 liters of water to start the plant like this. And the bottle is kept horizontally, as you can see. In some cases, when I have made a hole and pushed this nada through, the Nara's diameter and the hole don't match. So there is some amount of leakage. Don't put M-seal or things like that. Just put a stone under the top and tilt it upward so that there is no water dropping. Simple thing, natural, do it. I have not put any bricks, nor have I put any iron rod, nothing. Mostly this works. Occasionally some animals will come and disturb the bottle. If the bottle is disturbed, come and repair it. If some children will come and pull it out, etc., repair it. As far as possible, I have chosen components such that nobody wants to steal them. There is no fun. You can see clearly how much water is left in the bottle. When it is coming to an end, refill it. In this landscape that you see where we have planted at Vagoli, this is red laterite soil with rocks, one of the toughest things. Nothing has ever grown here. Okay. In other types of soil, the consumption of water may be more. Some sandy soils may consume more than 300 ml. I did some plantations on 9th of February this year in Khandala of Satara in Pune. Temperature is more than 37, 39, and we have run 2 months with near 40-degree temperature. All the 20 saplings that I planted of Kesar mango have survived, complete. Okay. Nobody thinks of planting anything in month of February at 40-degree temperature. This is the beauty of root feast, that because I am directly watering the roots, they survive. I will show you pictures of the Khandala plantation. But there is robustness in this method. Next slide. Okay. These are saplings after 12 months. The same thing. You can see the same bottles. Here, 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 here. Okay. So after 12 months, the saplings have grown quite well, and total 4-liter bottles were used. 5 initially and 4 now. So total 9 liters of water. Right? So there is jamun tree, there is sisham tree. Next set of slides. This is the same area after 3 years. Okay, you can see 15 feet trees, 12 feet trees, and some trees like this, very small, because tamarind grows slowly. You can't force growth, but it is growing. You can see clearly things are growing. Next. Okay. So this is the result, that we can grow quite confidently that whatever saplings I plant will grow if it is either a horticulture tree or it is a forest tree. We have planted in Shrival, a part of Satara district, very dry area, 100 tamarind trees. And this was done in village panchayat land. After the trees were planted, the panchayat people didn't care what is going on. Nobody came to look. And 14 months later, I went there, and 100% of tamarind trees were surviving. Very clearly, tamarind and sisam survives if planted by root feast. 100%. No issue, no issues at all. So we are now talking about a method of planting trees. Initial cost of the root feast apparatus is less than 20 rupees. Water requirement is about 9 liters, and 90% of the trees survive. The 10% of the trees that die after within the first 6 months. Any tree which has gone beyond 6 months will not die. And my advice is that if something is dead, replace it immediately so that your forest stays in fine. Okay. What happened? I taught root feast method to people from Heartfulness. It's a big organization in Hyderabad. It has done wonderful work growing trees in basalt, but they had never heard of growing trees with just 9 liters of water. So they came to us at Wagholi, and I taught those people. And they have two campuses in Pune. One is at Wagholi, another is behind Khadagwasla Lake. They are separated by a distance of 6 months. So those people whom I had taught went to Khadagwasla and planted these trees that you are seeing in the picture. You can see the water bottle, you can see the trees. And they forgot all about the trees because they were living 60 kilometers away. What was going on at the second ashram, they were not knowing, and they had forgotten all about it. They had invited me 4 months ago to come to their place and teach more people. And once I had finished the lecture, I had said, let's go around the campus and see it. And suddenly they came across the trees they have planted. These trees, as you see in this picture, have a 2-liter water bottle. Okay? That means the water supply is enough for 6 months. 1-liter bottle is 3 months supply. And after getting water only for 6 months, you see how they have grown in 2 years' time. Neglected completely after 6 months. And see, next slide. Okay. Now, stop at this. This is one of the persons in this red-blue shirt who planted the tree. And now the tree is 2.5 times its height. Do you see that? Next slide. Whole row of such trees, more than 10, 12 feet, completely neglected after 6 months. What happened when we were watering the controlled trees? We were giving 5 liters of water at surface, which is the traditional way of watering any tree. And you will see the roots became beggars or developed child-healed obesity. You will see roots pointing upward like this, begging for water. Okay? If you don't supply the water, the tree will die or will have a severe shock. And the roots in root feast have learned to penetrate the ground. They are going straight into the ground. And they have become self-reliant. Okay, so this is what the 4 pictures will show. Now, do you see how the roots are trending upward? Do you see this?
Yes.
Fat roots going upward. They are not going downward. So at the first sign of stress, this tree will say, I don't know how to grow. Again, do you see this is current tree that the roots are curling upwards? They are moving sidewards and upwards. Again, this means this tree cannot stand a shock. Now show the third control, my method root feast.
Yes, sir.
Do you see the roots are going straight down? Okay, it has gone 45 centimeters into the ground. Okay, next. This is again a whole lot of roots, but all going down. So if you grow a tree by root feast method, it has learned how to survive and get its resources from underground sources. The design, I call it single stem growth. I force the tree not to have any big crown. It grows up on a single stem, forcing the roots to mirror it and go into the ground. So complementary technology, one is root feast, second is single stem growth. What I am trying to do is I want to make my tree dependent on no external sources, but depend on underground resources. So even if I'm growing a gul mohar, which has a beautiful canopy, first 1 year, I will force it to go on a single stem, just on one single root upwards. Till it reaches the height of 8 feet, I don't allow any crown. The reason for choosing 8 feet is that if you go into a forest, you will see men and animals eat away everything below the 8 feet height. Between 7 feet and 8 feet, whatever branches are, they are anyway eaten away by animals or human beings as a general rule. So why waste resources of the tree, allowing it to branch earlier than that? Okay, so is that clear?
Sir, there is another factor also. If the surrounding trees are putting a shade, then the
Yes.
plants naturally tend to seek the sunlight by going straight up or
So-
sometimes sideways also.
So you have brought me to this set of slides about high density canopy management. Are we clear that root feast works? It works by making the plant rely on underground resources. It makes its root go deep. Initially, we are planning on single stem. These are mango trees in front of you. They have a canopy management. My advice is you let it grow to the height of almost 8 feet. And then you cut the canopies about a foot from the tree, from the soil. You start the canopy management after 18 months of growth. Cut it down. You can see just about 6 inches, 8 inches, 10 inches, we have started this canopy management. This is a tree which is 2.5 years old, and you can see it's fruiting. This picture was taken again in February. Next. This is the closeness. This is 4x7 plantation, high density. Next. This is jackfruit, early dwarf variety. You can see the fruiting and you can see the canopy management. Next. Okay. I had started my invention for planting forest trees. I talked to a lot of forest officers. They all told me, we are not interested to learn how to grow trees. We know it all. We have spent a lifetime growing trees. You solve other problem of ours, we will then adopt root feast. At the same time, I have put a lot of guidance and pressure on me. Why don't you convert this technology for farmers to grow horticulture? Okay. So I will use some numbers, just trust me in my numbers. A poor farmer in Maharashtra growing jawar does not earn more than 30,000 rupees a year from 1 acre of land. Okay. A farmer in Maharashtra having black soil and adequate amount of water, irrigation water, earns about 1,40,000 per acre from sugarcane. Five-fold difference. A poor farmer earns 30,000 from 1 acre of land. A rich farmer earns 1,40,000. Right? This is roughly the picture, with one small caveat that the sugarcane farmer earns 1,40,000 in 14 months. So if you normalize, a sugarcane farmer earns 1,20,000 and a jawar farmer earns 30,000. So we say we are going to plant either mango or guava or jackfruit. Let us say we are going to plant a mango tree, which is very simple, doesn't require a lot of effort, etc. And in that 1 acre of land, I am going to plant 800 guava trees. ICAR recommends that you can go up to 2,000 guava trees. the farmer cannot cope with it because he has never looked after a guava tree. Once he has understood, he can plant 1,000 trees. But my recommendation is that we start with 800 trees. And there are 2 crops in the first 12 months of a guava tree. So let us say he has 6 kgs of fruit. He has planted by root feast. It has grown for 1 year and he gets 6 kgs of fruit. And the farmyard price is 30 rupees. Okay. And there are 800. How much does he earn? 800 into 6 is 4,800 into 30 is 1,44,000. A simple farmer planting guava trees, 800 high density, will earn more than the sugarcane farmer from a soil that is not very well irrigated. And by the 8th year, he will be earning anything between 3 lakhs to 5 lakhs. We can change the shape of poor India. This is my point to you, that using root feast and growing fruits, we can change the shape of poor Indians. Every farmer can start earning something like 1.5 lakhs, 2.5 lakhs, 3 lakhs per acre. And all of them have up to 3 acres, 4 acres average. There are those who have no land. There are those who have only 1 acre. We are not talking about that. But in Maharashtra, 70–80% of villagers have 4 acres of land where he is earning total of 1,20,000. I can give him 6, 7, 8 lakhs of rupees a year. And all he has to do is spend 80 rupees per tree, sapling cost, digging the hole, making the bottle, etc. and plant 800 trees. And the root feast method will take care of all irrigation. 4 times a year, you have to change 1 liter bottle, and twice you have to change the 2 liter bottle. So there is an enormous potential to take this method and change the shape of rural India.
I mentioned Art of Living because they are doing, Jaltara scheme in Maharashtra to provide, adequate water throughout the year. So this could be easily acting. It can replace that initiative with much lesser price and effort.
So this is the initial view. This is sandy soil. About 10% is black soil, rest of it is sandy soil. Okay, I planted 20 trees because I had trained people how to plant trees by root feast method. And you can see the bottles, you can see Kesar mango. And when I was planting, those people whom I was training, they have planted more than 5 lakh trees in Satara district. Again, they were looking at me. We have never heard anybody planting trees in month of February. It was already more than 37 degrees. And there was a clear doubt in their mind whether these trees will survive. So next.
Yes, sir.
Okay. So this is the picture. Trees are healthy, surviving 1 month later of 37–40 degrees temperature. There is a video. Can you get that to play? Next, below this.
Yes, sir.
Try. In the video, what you will see is this. Okay. 3 trees were dying. So that man said, doesn't matter what Mr. Mathur says, I am going to do surface watering. He did. It is his trees, his method. And he's right. He has to save his trees. Keep showing. Is that all the video?
Yes, sir.
Then there is more. Tree by tree he is showing. These are not watered. These are not watered. Okay, you get a feel of quality of soil, right? Now he is zooming on this. I will tell you the reason.
Okay, sir.
Okay, so just remove all this.
Sir, there is a sign of somebody pouring water on in the pit.
In 3 pits, the heat was so much that the leaves turned brown. And this is a 8th standard boy who is looking after this. He could stand the emotional shock of leaves turning brown. He watered it with buckets. 3 trees out of 20. But the balance 17 are without any additional water, whatever is going through root feast bottles. The interesting thing is this. I had planted 3 trees under my supervision and taught these people and said, you plant the balance 17 trees. Among 17 trees was one sapling where all the 4 members of the team said to the owner, Atai, this is dead, don't plant it. And she was adamant, I have paid for it, I am going to plant it. And within a month, that dead sapling had fresh growth. When that man was trying to zoom, he was trying to show you how the new growth came out of that dead sapling. So this is the ability, the robustness that what was deemed to be a dead sapling survived in this heat. Unfortunately, what has happened on 9th of April, I couldn't get the photos. When I get, I will share, but that is not important. Let me summarize. There is an open source technology from which I am not seeking any benefit, which most of you people who are doing voluntary work know. That's the way to go. It requires an initial investment of 15-20 rupees to make the bottle. There's a cost of sapling to be purchased. There's a cost of the hole to be dug. There is some vermicompost, some biochar, some potash. Okay. And in the 2nd year, 3rd year, and further years as fruits come, there is need to be more irrigation and more vermicompost, nutritions all. But we can change the face of rural India by simply spreading this. And I really thank Mirnali for giving me this opportunity to spread this technology. Wow also. But let me add some personal points of view. I am a big follower of Buckminster Fuller, about whom most of you will not have heard. He is not very popular in India. But he says we are living in an age of abundance and there is no scarcity of anything. Now, WOW is meant to solve water crisis as if there is abundance, there is scarcity of water in this country and across the world. Okay, that basic premise is not based on any science. That may shock you, that I am asserting that there is no water scarcity and the premise that India is going to run out of water or there is a scarcity is based on our not utilizing right technology. There is a Central Water Commission in Pune, which publishes a report every year. And all the year reports say 80% of India's water usage goes to agriculture. About 10-12% goes to industry and household consumption is 8% of India. Supposing I told you that I can make a technology which will reduce agriculture usage of water from 80% to 10%, 12%. will you still then say that there is a water scarcity? There is 70% water not being utilized moment this technology is used. Okay, no answer, because this is not something part of your normal think. Can I invent that technology? The answer is you don't know. How can you trust me that I can invent the technology? Supposing I say that technology is 25 years old and India is already the master of that technology across the world. The answer is very simple: drip irrigation. Drip irrigation reduces water consumption to 1/10 or 1/12 of what is used traditionally. I am proposing a further improvement on drip irrigation, which I call underground wick irrigation. You bury the drip pipe 12 inches underground, make 3 holes, 4 holes, 5 holes near the tree roots or where vegetable roots will come, and cover those holes with a terracotta cloth so that there is no direct leakage. Same big effect takes place. And you can grow your vegetables, you can grow your sugar cane, you can grow wheat, rice with underground wick irrigation. The technology already exists for last 25 years. We can reduce our consumption of water to 10-12% of total water availability from 80%. Where is the crisis? The crisis is we don't have a proper overall understanding. Okay, this may be too much of an attack, so I will stop and answer questions.
Ashok ji, what happens to cereals and such crops which take away about 1/2 of our cultivable lands?
Just you use drip irrigation. See what happens if you put drip irrigation pipe on the surface. It doesn't have a life of even 1 year, because next year it has to be plowed, right? I would use drip irrigation for wheat production if I was sure that the field will not be plowed the next year. If the field is to be plowed, some of the drip irrigation will go. So I am saying, dig a harrow 12 inches deep, put your drip irrigation pipe there, remove the emitters. Instead of it in the 4 drip, put 4 holes where you think a root will come every 10 inches. Let us say wheat grows every 10 inches apart. We put holes there and not allow water to escape directly. We take terracotta cloth, wipe it, wrap it around, and then put a tie wire so that the cloth is firmly on the drip irrigation.
That is on wheat.
Huh?
Yeah. On 50 million hectares of paddy cultivation, which requires water logging, for every hectare about 10 million liters.
Don't talk to me about rice. We are using 7 times the water China uses. Just repeat this phrase every time. Punjab University has already solved, it has shown the way we can work with 1/7 of water for rice. We don't need any, we need people to say there is abundance, use the proper technology. If we go on saying rice is this, rice is, Tamil Nadu and Karnataka are fighting on a non-issue. Where is the scarcity of water? We can cut down the water requirement for rice by 1/7. China is already doing it across the whole country of China. Vietnam is doing it. Cambodia is doing it. Countries far, far intellectually inferior to us are already doing it. We don't want to wake up. We have a traditional system. We don't want to look at science. We don't want to use technology. If that is the case, we will say there is scarcity, but in real world terms, there is no scarcity of water anywhere in India. We are a fortunate nation and across the whole world.
So I just wanted to understand when you say you have to wrap the nada with the paper roll.
Yes, brown paper. Oh, yes.
Yeah. So if you can just kind of walk us through the whole thing a little bit. So we dig about 15, 18 inches deep to plant.
I will just show you physically. Just give me 1 minute. I am getting up and getting things.
Sure. Thank you.
Can you see this water bottle? It's an ordinary
Yes.
water bottle thrown away. It has a blue cap,
Yes.
empty. It's still clear. This is Nala, 48 inches long. What I have done at this end is I have drilled a hole in this cap. Do you see the hole in this cap?
Yes.
And I have partly covered this with brown paper tape. I will just show you how that is done. And
Thank
then I have pulled the Nala through this cap. Do you now see some portion of Nala coming out of the cap? This ensures the cap is properly sealed, so it won't leak. This is brown paper tape. What is done is, this is hung. And then person does this motion till the entire thing is. Is this clear? Gives you an idea. The
Yes.
PPT that
Yes.
shared will give full details. But
Yeah.
what is done? We are covering the same piece of Nala multiple times by this method. Because it is at an angle, so it gets covered once, twice, and then it is recovered on the way back.
Okay.
Okay. Okay. Then what we do is, we take this bottle, fill it with water, which I am not doing right now. Okay. Do you see the Nala inside? This is a longer Nala than that is needed for this bottle.
So the Nala
you-
inside does not have the brown paper tape on it.
It is meant to pick up the water from here.
Yes. Yes. Got it.
The tape is to prevent it from touching the soil.
So that evaporation does not.
There is no capillary action
Loss.
happening in the Nala and the soil. Water is not going to the soil.
Got it.
Okay.
One is what is the minimum age required for a sapling to survive, to ensure more survivability of the sampled? I mean, the piece is what we take. Secondly, how long would you continue watering them and discontinue after that? Because they are on their own.
Let us say, I highly recommend getting saplings as early as you can from the nursery. The 3 months age is about the maximum you should allow your tree to remain in a nursery, because any longer stay is cutting the taproot of the tree. Because it's asking the root to girdle, go in a circle. It is not training it to go down. And majority of farmers take the black bag, cut it with plastic and place it directly. Then the roots have lost all vigor. They are going to be staying alive. And then you water it with surface, they are going to bag. Like this, they go up. So get your sapling as early as you can. If it is of, say, 12 inches, 15 inches height, that's enough. Majority of what we did, 150 saplings, were just 15 inches, 12 inches, 15 inches, so that they are able to just show a little bit from the ground. Yes, that is the first question. What is the second?
How long would you recommend continuing watering in this way so that, on afterwards they are on their own, by and large, their root system becomes self-sufficient?
I showed you trees which got water only for 6 months. I showed you trees which got water for 4 months. And the 75 trees that we did in the scientific experiment, my people, without telling me, stopped watering them in monsoon. So they got for 9 months. Okay. I would say you want to be 100% sure you don't want any tree to die. Water it for a year. At the end of the year, Stop worrying about the tree. It is independent of you. It knows how to grow. Forestry.
So practically, it is like refill the same bottle 3 times maximum. That's the effort required. That
Yes, and if you take the 2-liter bottle, you need to replace it only once. You start with the 2-liter bottle, 6 months later, you replace it. That is the hard labor you have to do. It is an entirely labor-free system.
So
And
may I
it
ask?
is, yes, sorry, Deepti, ask.
I just want to bring up the point that because we are using a plastic bottle and it will be exposed to the sun, and now with all the news
Yes.
that we keep hearing about try and avoid, plastic and heat together, do you think covering it with a piece of cloth would be just again something that might help
I will answer
to
you
reduce?
in two different ways. First,
Sure.
our practical experience is this type of plastic bottle, which is the easiest one, 1 rupee per bottle, easily lasts 2 years in the field. We didn't remove the plastic bottles. Okay. And we have seen they easily last. For 1 year, they are surely guaranteed there is nothing that will go wrong. They will become scrunchy when the water is being sucked out, and there is no way that there is a vacuum being created. So they will become scrunchy. You open the cap, let the air come in, they will be okay. People ask, what about the water getting hot in the bottle? The answer is yes, the water gets hot in the bottle. It doesn't harm the roots practically. Okay? This is one answer.
Yeah.
Second is a funny point of view that I have, that there is nobody has made a synthetic material so far in this world. Everything is natural. Every element that you are using in this world, every electron is natural. When we say this plastic is synthetic, what do we mean? Did we make this polypropylene elements? No. We are just using a term because it is in fashion. There is plenty of people dying after ESG. I ask, have you made a gold atom so far in life? Or has anybody made? Has anybody made a sodium atom? Matter is essentially sustainable. Nothing can destroy. The sum total of matter and energy is the same. The whole world is sustainable. That's the first law of physics. If you say you are trying to do sustainable things, you come right bang into the second law of thermodynamics. That is, you are trying to create local order. It's wonderful to have the idea that I will grow a forest here, or I will grow an orchard. But remember, second law of entropy says somewhere else in the universe, you are creating a much bigger disorder. There is no way you can create a local order without creating a bigger disorder elsewhere in the world. So this is the philosophical dilemma, that physics laws don't allow you to be sustainable. Everything is already sustainable. You create local order, disorder will happen elsewhere. Simple example, think about it. We sweep the house and put the dirt outside the gate. People object, we put it outside the compound. Municipalities come and make a heap somewhere else, which we don't see initially, but which we are seeing everywhere. There is no way you can create local order without creating greater disorder. All these ESG goals are hoax. You want to follow them, follow them. You want to believe what you believe, very good. I'm not trying to convert you. But give a thought, has anybody created a single atom? Even transuranium elements are natural. This distinction that this is natural and this is artificial is a distinction in our mind, not in the physical world. This is a drip irrigation pipe. Okay. I have planted a tree. For 1 year, it has grown with root feast methodology. Second year, third year, the amount of water required is going to be much more. If you say that end of third year, I want 8 to 10 kgs of fruit from the tree, then it becomes my duty to supply it with water enough for those kgs of fruit. Okay? That is my relationship with the tree. That is my relationship with any industry, that if I want so much output, I must give you minimum that input. Okay? If you go to National Niti Aayog 2018, publicly, without any shame, they said 900 liters of water are needed for 1 kg of fruit. These are answers given by Niti Aayog in Parliament of India. And that resulted into a lot of inquiry, etc., etc. But they asserted that we need 9 kgs of water for 1 liter of fruit, 1 kg of fruit. My simple thinking is biological. This 1 kg of fruit requires 1 liter of water or 0.8 liter of water. But I can't put a farmer based on my understanding of science at a risk. So let us take, we will give him 10 liters of water for 1 kg of fruit, right? This is a generous amount that whatever waste takes place, etc., I will do that. So I need for 40 kgs of fruit from a mango tree, 400 liters of water. With this drip irrigation pipe near the tree, the closest 1 foot from it, I will make 4 holes on it, so that there are 8 points from which water can leak. And I will tie around it a cloth tape. Okay, do you see this? There's a cloth tape around it. So there is no hole coming directly in touch with the soil. It is, water is leaking from this pipe through a capillary action. And this is buried 12 inches underground. So the pipe, drip pipe's life is more than 10 years. I have a single control valve. I open it at 4 in the evening and close it at 9 in the night. And I am irrigating my field. How do I know that I am giving the right amount of water? Is there a scientific test? You can invest in soil moisture meters. They exist. They cost 1,200, 1,500. I am saying I follow Toyota production system. My production system should be visible to me at all times. So look at the plant leaves at 4 in the evening. If they show wilting, that means you are not giving enough water. Go on opening the pipe till 10 in the night. If they are not wilting, one is that you know you are giving enough water. The second test is make your finger like this and run it on the surface of the soil. In the first 1.5 inches, you should not find any wet soil. You should find dry soil. If the soil is dry, that means you are perfect. Leaves are not wilting, the soil is dry. What it does is there are going to be no weeds present in the field because the topsoil is dry. And if there are no weeds, the number of pests will reduce slightly. Pests come from air, they don't come from weeds. But there is a correlation. The amount of weeds you have and the amount of pests you get are correlated. So the underground drip pipe gives you control with very simple mechanism, and there are no money to be spent on weeds and possibly less on pests. This is the system. And
Yes. Sorry, please finish. Please finish.
I'm just wondering if I should make bombastic statements. Let me make one last one. If you have a problem of salinity in a sugar field, okay, we have plenty. Whole parts of Maharashtra have saline soils in which sugar can't grow, and the farmers are just crying. The existing solution of cement pipes with holes is just too costly. They are not doing this. I am trying to talk to Vasantdata Institute, give me 1 acre of saline land and run my experiment. It is not being done. It is only a conceptual solution. The solution is this, that I put the drip pipe underground and over it put sugar cane, which is a ratooning crop, not the normal sugar cane. For 4 years, 5 years, I don't have to pull it out of the ground. I just cut it from the top. So for 4, 5 years, the salt at the top will flow down and deep into the soil it will go. Your salinity problem will be solved and you will still earn income from the ratooning crop.